Okay, Central Church, welcome to the construction set. Normally it's the Moment of Truth set. Today we're talking about construction and giving. You have really surprised us. If you remember, a little more than a month ago, we put the ask out to update this space. Now, as I walk the facility of Central Church, I am amazed at what God has done in this place. I walk the hallway and I see new flooring, I see updated wall spaces, and it just feels like a fresh ministry, and the Lord's doing that throughout this place. And then I brought it to our congregation. I think that the worship center is next. We put that ask out, and within just a little more than a month, we have had over $400,000 pledged or given to this endeavor. And so we're already 1/3 of the way there. And so thank you. But let me show you some pictures that might whet the appetite, and maybe we can get the rest of the way there. These are some pictures of what we're looking for in the days to come. We envision a worship center that really bridges all generations. Now, the thing that I love about Central Church is that this church has a long and glorious history. It's 127 years old and counting. And yet there was always in the history of Central this intentional desire to reach the next generation. Why? Because we want to have a legacy. It's been said in the Christian life, there's no success without succession. I want my children to succeed me. I want to leave them something. I want to leave something behind for the next generation. And really, as I think about the next step for Central Church, it's our worship center. This will be a place for the generations to come and to hear preaching and the exposition of God's holy word for generations to come. So be part of this. I want to encourage you that even if it's a small amount, we want you to be part of this so that you can lay down your legacy. These are exciting times for our Central Church, but we want you to be involved. In today's passage, we're going to be looking at Mark chapter 12. And in Mark 12, we see a very interesting passage on giving. And so this is your moment of truth. Okay, Moment of Truth, welcome back. We are so thankful that you're with us this week. Today, I want to look at chapter 12. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying to yourself, but wait a second, we finished chapter 12 last week. Well, in light of our big announcement that we just gave you about this building and this space, I want to look at chapter 12, and then we'll start chapter 13 on Monday, today. And specifically, I want to look at this story of the woman, the widow's offering. This is an amazing passage. It says in this passage that Jesus, he's setting himself up in the treasury area, and he's watching people put money into the treasury. First, he sees some rich people, and they're putting in their large sums. And back then, it made noise when you dropped it into the receptacle. But then in verse 42, he said there was a poor widow. She came, and she put in 2 small copper coins. Now, let me show you something. I picked these up in Israel. This is the real deal. And Sean, you can come in and zoom in on these things here. These are real widow's mites. And a remarkable piece of history. This is 2,000 years old that I'm holding in my hand. What is a widow's mite? Well, this was basically, according to Matthew Poole, he says basically that we can calculate the value of a widow's mite to about $1 today. It's about $1. And so this lady is not putting in a large amount of money. She's putting in about $1. But the key to this passage is Jesus' summary of her heart. He says this, he called his disciples to him, and he said to them, truly, I say to you, this poor widow has put in more money than those who are contributing to the offering box. For they contributed out of their abundance, but she contributed out of her poverty. And here it is, she has put in everything she had, all she had to live on. Now, here's what I love about this project. We've only been talking about it for the better part of a month, and already we've raised over $400,000. That is so inspiring, but the thing that inspires me the most is the percentage of givers in the congregation. We have a very good percentage of you that have given to this project. And I think that I respect this woman because she gave what she could. And for some of you, it might mean giving $1. But for others, your worship is you're going to give and it's going to be sacrificial. And I want to remind you of what it looks like to give in the New Testament. Tithing is just really the beginning. Tithing is really an Old Testament concept. It means a tenth, that you're to give a tenth of your wages to the church and to the ministry to support the work of the ministry. But really in the New Testament, we don't see that method employed. Really in the New Testament, what we see is this idea of giving sacrificially, cheerfully, giving in faith. And really, that's the kind of giving that as we think about a project like this, is it daunting? Yes. But we've already raised 1/3 of the money. That's remarkable. By God's grace, people have got behind this project. You're supporting it. And we want to thank you for that. And we want to ask you, give in faith. We did that in the better part of a month. I really think that by the end of this year, we could have this knocked out. And so let's give in faith, be a part of this in faith, even if it's a widow's mite. And it may be that God puts it on your heart to give a widow's mite, whatever that is for you this week. Well, God bless you. This week, we're going to be reading chapters 13 all the way to chapter 17, and God's going to speak to us and continue to build His church. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.